Hi, my name is Lena and I'm purLZknitting. In this video, I will show you how to do tubular 2x2 rib bind off. It's done in 2 rows, but this video will have a slight little addition to it because I will show you how to do it with 2 sleeves worked at the same time. Tubular cast off in 2x2 rib worked in a round consists of 2 rounds. The first round is prep round to convert 2x2 rib into 1x1 rib. The round 2 is your grafting to seamlessly close the stitches together using tapestry needle. First thing first, what you need to do is, I'm working magic loop, and this is the beginning of my round. What you need to do here is knit the first stitch. This is the first round. Purl the first stitch. Now we need to switch these two to prep it for the tubular bind off the easier way. This is the easiest way that I found. And what we're going to do is I can use an additional or supporting needle and just slip the stitch and work it this way. Or what I can do is I can knit the second stitch on the left needle without slipping it. Purl the first stitch on the left needle, slip both stitches. So now we just worked knit and purl stitch, and we will have, so we will switch. The result should be we're switching to 1x1 rib from 2x2, and then we repeat this process. Knit the stitch, purl stitch, and then knit the second stitch on the left needle without slipping it, purl the first stitch on the left needle without slipping it. I will show it to you with the purl that's done this way. When I do it continental style, this is a perfect position for me to then sew it or to finish the next round. If I don't, I will show you how, when the stitch is positioned correctly on the needle, how to do it. So let's just do a few stitches with the purl, throw in the yarn over the needle, knit, and now we're gonna purl like that, and a few more stitches with purling, throwing the yarn over the needle. So we prep for the second round. There we go. And you work it like that. That's your first round. I will finish it and I will show you what to do when we're here, because we have right now both sleeves on the same cable, needle cable. And we need to slip these stitches and hold them somewhere else. And there's a few different methods for that. So we don't have those stitches in a way when we finish this sleeve and when we do partially the first sleeve. What happened here is the video accidentally got deleted where I transferred the stitches from the from the back needle of the first sleeve onto the flexi cable. So for now, just know that it happened, and I will re-record this video and post an update. So I have the tapestry needle here, ready to start binding off. And what I would suggest you do is have 2 stitch markers with removable stitch markers ready. You don't need to do that, it's optional. If you know where your stitches are and you know how they're positioned, you don't really need this guidance. But if you want to, you can place the first removable stitch marker into the first stitch and the second one into the second stitch. These stitches will be incomplete until we come full round, and then we will need to finish our binding off. The stitch is turned, keep in mind, the wrong way. All right, so now we're ready. and I will show you with the second sleeve without stitch markers. And now you will do this maneuver. I will show it to you with twisted stitches, and then in here I have stitches positioned the right way. So what you do is insert the needle, there it is. You insert the needle into the first stitch, knit stitch purlwise, and you slip that stitch off the needle. And then, so the first, it's the first move. And then you skip the second stitch. Now the second stitch on the left needle, you insert the needle from the back to the front and run the thread through. Sorry, the stitch markers are a bit in the way. I like to do it without stitch marker, tag it a little bit. And now, because my stitches are turned, I have to come from the back of the work into the loop, like that. And just shuffle that out of the way. And then I have to come between the first and second stitch on the left needle. This stitch is turned, keep in mind. I will show it to you, so it's positioned for me the right way. I don't need to do anything. I just need to move. I just need to insert the tapestry needle into the stitch from front to back and run the thread through. These are in the way, like that. And now we will keep repeating the same movement until, well, the rest of the round. Insert the needle from the front to the back into the first stitch. Slip that stitch off the left needle. Insert tapestry needle into the second stitch on the left needle from the back to the front and pull the thread through. Be careful with these stitch markers. They're kind of in the way for now. Tag it a little bit. Don't tag it way too hard. You still need some stretch here. And then the second is insert the needle into the purl stitch from the back to the front, slip the stitch off the left needle, and now insert, this is still twisted stitch, insert the needle between the knit stitch and purl stitch, and insert the needle into the purl stitch from front to back. And tag it a little bit. And we're doing the same thing. Insert needle into knit stitch, front to back, slip it off the left needle, insert the tapestry needle into the second stitch from the back to the front, pull the thread through. Not too hard, tag it a bit so it looks neat right here, but don't like completely pull, otherwise you'll not be able to stretch it enough to put your hand through, or if it's for the body, your body through over your head, you know, shoulders. We have shoulders. So purl stitch inserted from the back of the work to the front, and then between the knit stitch and purl stitch into the purl stitch from front to back. And what we're doing is basically the Kitchener stitch or grafting. That's all it is. We join in 2 sets of stitches, and if you know grafting, this is basically what it is. Insert the needle into the back of the purl stitch between 2 stitches. This purl stitch is positioned correctly on a needle with the right leg in front of the needle and left leg behind the needle. So what we do right now is we need to create a little maneuver. Either pull the needle through, you can pull the whole thing through, and then insert the needle from front to back into the purl stitch. Do it in 2 moves, like that. Or let's come to the next purl stitch. So knit stitch, insert the tapestry needle from front to back, slip it off the left needle, insert the tapestry needle into knit stitch or second stitch on the left needle, back to front, and pull the thread through. tagging a little bit. Just use it a little bit here and there so it kind of distributes evenly. And then into the purl stitch, insert the needle from back to front into the purl stitch, slip it off the left needle, and this is going to be done all in one move. Insert the needle between the first and second stitches, insert the needle into the second stitch from front to back, and pull the thread through. There you go, done. And keep repeating the same movement, front to back, back to front into knit stitch, back to front, front to back, reversed for purl stitches. And this is what it comes out to be, that beautiful tubular bind off. So for knit stitches, front to back into back to front, purl stitches, back to front, and front to back. So it's a chain of events, back to front to back, front to back, back to front. There you go. And I will keep working like that until I come to the second sleeve, and I will show you what to do if you do not place stitch markers. I'm at the end of the first sleeve, and what do you do if the rest of the stitches that you need to anchor this one are on hold and you can't continue yet? So I have the purl stitch here, and I'm inserting it back to front, and then I am moving this out of the way and inserting the left needle, the tapestry needle, into the stitch, actually this way, because it's my purl and the stitch is twisted, and pulling the yarn through. And now this is my last stitch on the needle. I will pull it off, and I will insert the needle into the second stitch on hold and pull it through. So this is it for now. I will remove the tapestry needle from here, or I will use, I have a holder and I have a second one. I will use the second one for the second sleeve. The first sleeve off the needles, and we're holding the stitches, and then we'll transfer them to the needle when we free it. So this is out of the way. We're setting it aside for now, and we're working with one sleeve only. I am not going to use my supporting stitch markers, removable stitch markers, for this one. What I'm going to do is insert the needle. Stitches here, the purl stitches are positioned the wrong way. They're twisted. Again, because of the way that I purl, and I purl by getting the yarn under the needle, not over the needle. And that results in a reversed position in twisted stitch. So insert the tapestry needle into the first needle from front to back. Slip it off the needle, insert the tapestry needle into the knit stitch back to front. Pull the yarn through and tag it a little bit. Because of the way my stitch is positioned, I do it still from the back to the front, no matter what, whether it's positioned this way or this way. It's from the back of the work to the front. That's all you need to know. And then from the front of the work to the back. If this stitch would have been in the correct position, I would still insert my tapestry needle from the front to the back. Like if it's positioned this way, I would still go to the front and then get in there from front to back. But my stitch is already positioned for me, luckily, in the right way. Knit stitch from front to back, slip it, back to front. No difference between this sleeve and that sleeve. And then again, back to front, front to back. Here it will be easier because I can just transfer the random stitches onto one needle and keep them on one needle without doing the maneuver that I did there to connect to the stitches on hold. There are no stitches on hold here, it's all one needle. So I will keep working like that I will show you again. You will find it in the description below. Knit stitches front to back, slip it off the needle. The next knit stitch is back to front, pull the yarn through. And I'm just showing you one last time this repeat. Purl stitch, insert the needle from back of the stitch to the front and from front to back and pull the yarn through. Tag it a little bit, not too tight, but just so it looks great. It's not loose, it's not too tight, and keep working like that. Find it in the description below or follow it in slow motion. I'll have chapters so you can go back and repeat this process. I'm almost finished, and at this point I need to anchor these 2 stitches to the first 2 stitches of the round. What do? I do the same thing. So insert into the knit stitch the tapestry needle from front to back, slip it off the needle. And now we have to find our first knit stitch, which is pretty easy to find. It's right here. This one. Huh, no. Okay. It's pretty easy to find, right? It's this one right here. So purl stitch and then the knit stitch right after it. And you need to get from the back. So this is the stitch. And if you get from the back, right now you can see this is a knit stitch. And this is how I've been inserting the tapestry needle from the back to the front of the second knit stitch. So right now I have them on the tapestry needle. And just pull the yarn through. And then this is your last stitch. Get it off the needle. And let's find our purl stitch, which will be this one right here. And it's slightly twisted, so you need to get from the back, from the front to the back, sorry, there. That's what it is. This is it. And pull it through. And we've completed our tubular bind off in 2 rounds for 2x2 rib. What do I do? What do I do with this? Easy. So first I just pull it through here, a couple of stitches, probably here. Tighten it up. And then I will do the knot to secure it. I always do it. Sometimes it's bulky and in a way, but I'm used to working with sport fingering weight yarn. This is DK, so it's still pretty small enough. And then I will weave it in. And then what I do is I would just get the needle into the knit stitch like that, and into knit stitch. Into each first leg, right leg of the, it depends on how you look, but it's the right leg of the knit stitch. I just keep inserting the needle like that. And then just pulling it through. And see, you don't notice that the knot. And what I do is I go to the very end, so a few more of these. Sometimes it's cumbersome to have them all on one needle, so just like that. Keep going to the very end. Then I'll turn, go back for a few stitches or rows, and break it. See, you can't even see where it's at. And then I'll just pull it through here, probably here, like that. And now we need to go back. Weave it in. All right. Let's basically enough. What I do is I will yank it forward, break the yarn here, again in that way to separate the threads, the plies, and then break them. It's not easy to do it with two, so let's separate these two. All right, and then just slowly kind of wiggle it through. And there it is. You don't know where it's at all. And that's the finished sleeve. What do we do with the second? What do we do with the second one? It's been on hold forever. You still have your needle. Put it there, pull it through. Transfer all the stitches onto the needle. Disconnect the flexi cable. And finish it. And I will show you what to do with these beautiful things. We're at the last two stitches, and here's my supporting stitch markers. And what I do is, from the back of the work to the front, insert the needle into the purl stitch. Oh, knit stitch, sorry. From the front to the back into the knit stitch, and you can, if you want to, just temporarily slip the stitch off. And here's where it's slightly twisted because you actually need the bottom of it, because what we did is we pulled the yarn over the stitch marker. So we need to get the yarn out of the way, and let's remove the stitch marker. I have this stitch on hold here on a tapestry needle. So right now my knit stitch is this stitch here. There, that's my knit stitch. I will slip the purl stitch back onto the needle, and then I've already slipped the knit stitch, and now I'm inserting needle from the back of the work to the front into the knit stitch that was on hold. And you will know what that knit stitch is because you will just pull the stitch marker and you will know this is it. And now what I do is put the stitch, put the tapestry needle from the back, insert it into the first stitch on the left needle, and slip it off. Slip the stitch off too. You don't need it anymore. And then what you do is you can just pull up the stitch or put it onto the needle, the one that you have the stitch marker inserted into, and from the back to the front, there you go, you pull the yarn through. That's it, you're done. And you're doing the same thing with this sleeve. Just pull it through some stitches, weave it in, and you're basically done. That's it. That's your 1x1, or this is your tubular ribbing, converted from 2x2 rib to 1x1 and then bound off. This is what it looks like. Once it's wet blocked, it will look much better and stretched out, so it'll be like that. That's it. Perfect.